Again, not necessarily my impression of Hugh Hefner. Not even a deep cut. There, I don't even want to go into it. It's in my generation. It's amazing how, depending on the person and the environment, Playboy had little to nothing to do with people's lives, or it factored into people's lives greatly. I was ambivalent towards the whole thing. I didn't care one way or the other. I do remember high school, grade 12 or 11, I was tapped on the shoulder at the end of the school year, because I'm one of those guys that just hung around the school a lot, especially in the computer lab, and one of the teachers said, "Hey Dave, exams are over, can you help clean the lockers, because the janitors at the end of the school year would have to go around and clean out all the lockers, and it's a lot of work." And I said, "Well, I'm here for a couple more hours, sure, I'll help." And I remember going through the lockers and with a garbage bag and whatever's left in there, throw it in a garbage bag, and I opened this one locker, and I think her name was Kathy St. James, Miss 1980 whatever. And then going, because back in the early 80s, a high school kid could have a Playboy centerfold in their locker. And again, I'm not sure what the actual school position was on that. If the teacher saw it, would they have removed it? I don't know. But I know that when I emptied the locker, there was Kathy St. James. I think it was Kathy St. James in her full nothing. And then going, huh, they make things like this. I've never actively acquired Playboy magazines. I wasn't into magazines like that back then. I was too busy buying Star Trek books. But I do remember, I don't know why, I bought, or I got from my wife. I can't remember which edition, but it had Terry Polo. Terry Polo was in Sports Night, and my wife knew I loved Sports Night. It was one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And so she bought the magazine, the Playboy magazine, where Terry Polo posed for it. And again, it's cute, whatever. I think Terry Polo is a really good actress and does a good job at whatever she does. I've seen her in a bunch of stuff, including, again, Sports Night and West Wing, but other things as well. I like her acting, and if she wants to pose for whatever, that's entirely up to her. And I appreciated the effort from my wife to get me that. And I'm going to embarrass her now by regaling you of this. Nah, I'm not going to. That's a private thing. But not a dirty private thing. It's a little story that I thought was funny, but we're not going to go into that. So in the end, it didn't faze me at all that Playboy itself disappeared off of print, I think it is. Or whatever, the printing of the girls are no longer naked, whatever. People buy them, people don't buy them. It matters not to me either way. I've never been one for censorship. I've never been one for telling other people what they should and shouldn't read. It's never been my cup of tea. But I did come down here to talk about something else, and I don't know how I got into that point. Just popped into my head. Basically, I was thinking about lockers. I have mentioned previously, that because we live in a smallish house, and there's not a lot of room, that when I reconstitute all these sets, that they end up in totes in the garage. And somebody asked me, are the totes in the basement in the garage? And I get, not that person themselves made me uncomfortable with the question. I think it's a very valid question. But I do get a little bit wary of the tenuous storage method I have, especially if it's in the garage. Now, to be said, we are in a very, very safe and secure neighborhood. Most of our neighbors have security cameras because of various things. We have security cameras because of the 10 years of sheer utter health with the neighbors. and the security cameras are still there. And you have to drive in to our complex and we're past everybody in order to get to our house. So I'm not too concerned about hardly anything where we live. Um, but also the garage is running out of space too. So the totes are not here or in the house or in the basement or in the garage. They're in a storage locker now. Not just because I don't think about thievery too much. I really don't. But because of the lack of space and the numerous totes that we have of stored Lego that are in sets and baggies. Before all the Lego fit in this room, when it was just parts and pieces inside and sorted into the collection. But as you build them, it takes up more space. And I want them built. So we decided to get a storage locker. And that's perfectly secure. So if anybody has any kind of shenanigans about thieving totes in the garage, you're gonna find a lot of sawdust and a lot of wood. Old bicycles and a wheelbarrow. That's what's in the garage right now, and so that's the way it is, and I don't mind that because I don't need to have them here. And as I'm downsizing everything else, if people want stuff from me, they can absolutely just ask, and I have no problem with that. But I thought I'd answer the question again. This wasn't the innuendo is not directed at the person who asked the question. The question is perfectly legitimate. But I one of the criteria, one of the reasons why we moved the totes, it was a little reason, is the separating the Lego sets from the rest of the world was a thin layer of aluminum garage door. So, but overall it was space. Overall it was space, and it just takes up room. And this is why I am downsizing, because the Lego collection was taking up a lot of. This is why I did not mind 4+ totes going to Jeff. Of basic brick, because it's not here anymore and it doesn't take up space. And so I do not mind talking about downsizing a lot of other pieces and parts too, but it's up to, and this is my sad part, it's up to me what I want to downsize. But I do suggest, another friend of mine this week asked me about specific pieces and specific colors. My issue there is I'm colorblind. So when I hear dark nougat and whatever's all those other fancy new colors that Lego came out with in the past 20 years, I can't tell them apart from the rest of them. The basic colors, the basic original colors, it's a new toy every day. It's the, let's see if I actually have a box. The original colors, black, white, blue, red, and yellow, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Gray, sure. Tan, sure. Lime green, yeah, okay. Dark nougat, dark green, dark red, dark brown, whatever other fancy colors they have, and then you got the aquas and the pinks and the off pinks and the dark pinks, and even the bright light orange, which I think is yellow half the time. There's just no possible way for me to sort that out. There's zero possible way for me to get. So I got 2 full totes over there, unsorted, and that's just 2 to start with, of these off colors. And because I haven't put literally any effort into that, it is a problem in the fact when people ask me for parts and pieces of those new colors that came out in the last 20 years, I can't help you. Unless you come over here and look through the bins yourself, I cannot help you, because I am colorblind, and those colors, I have no ability to tell you what dark nougat is. I don't, and whatever, all the other colors that have these fancy names to them, I can't help you with them, and I feel bad because I do want to. My favorite thing is to exchange Lego for Lego. I've done it before with this friend who asked me for some dark nougat parts, and I want to do it again, but I can't. I honestly can't. And I feel really bad because I have those totes and I don't know what to do with them because they are colors that I'm not good with. And I think with that, one of the reasons why I do build classic space in the way I build classic space is because those are the colors that I can tell apart. So the colors that I grew up with from 1970 to 1990, which were all basically the 5 original colors that I showed you, plus gray and other things, but and it's what I'm used to, and it's what I can see, and it's what I can tell apart, and whatever. One of my friends always quote unquote picked on me because there was some purple in the layout, some slope bricks in the layout that were purple. and while I was building, I didn't have the lighting that I have now. When I first moved in here, it was out there, and the lighting wasn't as good and bright as it is in here. And in a lit room, not like dark room, you're not fumbling through and kicking your shin into the couch or anything like that. But in a medium lit room, I can't tell the difference between the blue and purple. I can't tell the difference between the blue and purple bricks. And it's as simple as that. You saw me with the trans dark blue yesterday, and there was dark purple, trans dark purple in there, and whatever. My wife had to sort those out for me because I can't tell the difference. And it is mildly frustrating to me when I go to a show, like a Lego convention or other conventions that have Lego there, and I am blown away by the artistic endeavors of people using all the facets and all the various colors to make a landscape or a diorama or whatever, and they use all the dark browns and dark greens and dark reds and blah blah, because those are really cool colors to use in that context. I'm going to bring up, and it is a microcosm of the world, that my buddy Chris, a couple years back, had a challenge to build a space set in random colors that he picked out of a bag. And he had, let's see if I remember, orange, and, oh, I can't remember. But anyway, I think it was dark tan. I can't remember now. I have to dig it up. I have them all in my garage because I made a whole theme. But that was okay because I had them all sorted out anyway. Those specific colors I had sorted out. I thought the color scheme was fine. And yet a lot of other people said this is like the ugliest color scheme on the planet. And it's just like my old winter coat that I used for skiing for a couple seasons that I thought was just blue and black. And I didn't even notice there was a seam, one third. I didn't even notice there's a seam between the top and the middle part. I just saw the seam between the middle, the blue and the black. And I thought the whole top was blue. And somebody finally told me after 2 or 3 years, hey, that's a very loud coat. And I said, it's just blue. It's like sky blue, whatever. They said, no, the entire top was purple, like bright purple. And going, and it's the same with my scarf. I had a scarf that Sandy remembers me wearing on her first date, and she goes, "That was a very loud scarf." And I go, "What are you talking about? It's just like a blue and gray and tan tweed scarf." She said it was purple, like bright, not even royal purple, like bright purple. I go, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. And so it is sometimes. I will say this: most days it doesn't even cross my mind. Most days it doesn't even hit my radar how colorblind I am. Most days, my life works perfectly fine. I can tell when the light's red and when the light's green. So that's all that matters, when the light's yellow. But on specific instances, when it comes to my Lego collection, I got totes over there of unsorted colors that are not the original 5 colors plus the grays and tans and the easier colors for me to tell apart. And it's because I just can't. I honestly just can't. It takes me a long time. I remember getting lots and then trying to sort out the various colors into these colors, the original prime colors are fine, all done. And I go like this, and Sandy will come in. So that's dark greens are over in dark browns or dark reds, and she has to sort them out. And I don't want her doing that. She loves doing it, but it's not up to her to do it. So I can't help people unless they want to come over here. Unless I want to go into that bin and start the bins and start rifling through and finding the parts they want in the right colors they want, because it is 2 full toes. at least of the different colors. One day I do plan on trying, because I do have some smaller, the light blues and stuff like that, and the light pinks over there that I usually am able to tell apart, but there are some shades that I can't. And so, and then I don't even know what color it is. I can see there's a difference between this one and that one, but I wouldn't know what color it is. Is that dark nougat? I have no idea. I do not know. So it is a bane sometimes. It is frustrating in this hobby these days. It wasn't for 40 years of my life, 30 to 40 years of my life, where the colors were just the basic colors and we all knew what they were. But as soon as they started getting into the esoteric, the very, very different shadings of whatever, as I said, bright light orange. I do have on a very bright light like I have here, I can tell the difference between that and yellow, but without the bright light, I can't tell at all. So it is what it is. It's something I have to live with for the last 15, 20 years now. And it doesn't necessarily impact my life that much. I mean, it did when I was trying to build the this guy, because there are two different colors here, and again, what they are, I couldn't tell you. And the tree, they look like both brown to me. I guess it's brown and dark brown. But I had to not use the instructions in the book because the parts were too dark for me to discern the difference. I had to go online and increase my brightness of my laptop screen to 100% to be able to discern the demarcation between this color and that color, because I can't. I can see them here now, but in the instructions I couldn't tell. The instructions, I could barely see the lines in between the different bricks. That's my thing about being colorblind. So that was a little bit of an issue. Now the leaves, the white leaves with the pink frogs, piece of cake. The pink flowers, not a problem. And even I built this guy the other day, and thankfully they showed you the difference, because I can tell the dark, medium, and light orange pieces here. I get to see the difference, because orange is okay. I'm pretty good with orange, but these pieces here, these green, I guess green or brown, I think they're green, because they're leaves. That I had a tough time looking at the instructions to see where the one began and the other one did. Like, it's just little things like that. I have to live with, and I do. And this is why overall I don't usually build new sets, especially when they have all the different colors in it. And that's fine. Josh builds them. He's not colorblind. Anywho, that's what I wanted to say. My totes are in a storage locker around here somewhere. and they'll sit there for months and years, and until I do something with them. I just wanted them out of the house. So I don't have to worry about the space, and I needed more space, and again, more downsizing. So that's where they are. The pieces I have here and the displays I have throughout the house. I do have the 8 boxes here, the 8 boxes of the layout here. And that's just because I might want to go at any time to go do a show. If somebody calls me up tomorrow and says, "Hey Dave, we're going to do a show next weekend," perfect. I can be there. And I do have ideas that I've parts and pieces I want to fix in there, so it's easier for me to have that here. But the other ones are just static. They just, I mean, I have more stuff to put in there because I've reconstituted all the sets over there. But they'll sit there until I fill up another tote, and then I'll go to the storage locker. So I do plan on selling more stuff. I'm going to try to get stuff together. I just haven't had time in the past week and a bit to get stuff together because my life's been busy. And that's the way it is too. Work is busy right now and life is busy right now. So I haven't had too much time down here. Although I did find my boxes. Fantastic. And this is another box I don't even care about. So if somebody wants to buy that off me, this one, I'll probably reconstitute and put a whole set in there at some point. This guy has no ends on it, and I don't know why I kept them. It's just, this is just fire starter. So I will say though, I don't want to talk about it right now. I put this together the other day. Loved it. Sandy got this for me. Loved the set. So I got a few of those sets now over there. I don't have the complete series. I'm not interested in completing the complete series of that line of space sets, but I do like the ones I have. So that's it. That's all. Everybody out there, stay safe, take care, and I will talk to you later.